Come and dream with me.
Hello, welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every week, we get together to talk about movies, TV, and online content and help you answer the question, is the Rolling Stones' You Can't Always Get What You Want the most overused song in media? I think so. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, Dylan Blatt.
Could be. I don't want to say no. I don't want to say yes. I'll say it's a good option.
Yes. It came to mind because obviously the Ted Lasso season 3 trailer came out. We're not talking about it's not. We're not giving thumbs to the trailers. But if it was, 2 thumbs down. It's not a good trailer.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to the show. Not a good trailer. You know, where's all the witty banter? You know,
it's a very serious show. I don't know. No witty banter.
No witty. You know, give us some plot. Tease some plot. Am I right? Anyway, on today's episode, we'll be talking about what's in our watch history, covering some news, giving some thumbs to some trailers, and doing this week's top 3. Kicking things off, Cocaine Bear, released in cinemas. We've already got a spoiler cast up at explosionhour.com. I, of course, wrote a review. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I said, Cocaine Bear understood the assignment. A delightful time filled with jokes, grisly deaths, and over-the-top crazy sequences, which doesn't overstay its welcome, wrapping up in 95 minutes. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Really good time. I think it does have an issue of peaking a little bit too early. I feel like I'm reading some of the discussion around the film. It's like your enjoyment in this will greatly depend on whether you like the characters that it kind of revolves around. Whether you enjoy spending time with them or they just irritate you, then, you know, that's the thing. But yeah, I had a delightful time watching Cocaine Bear. It delivered on the promise of a bear on cocaine. You know, because a bunch of drug dealers drop a bunch of cocaine in the woods. A bear ingests it, and it just goes around murdering people because it's high on coke. Good times. Dylan, what'd you think of Cocaine Bear? Spoiler free.
Yeah, it was a great time. The slight spoiler: the cocaine bear kills some people. It's quite enjoyable. Yeah, it's funny how this setup just seems absolutely ridiculous, but somehow this movie makes it treats it serious enough to make it work, but also every actor is in on the joke and having fun with it. I don't remember any of the characters, which is fine, but I don't feel like anyone bothered me. Like, the characters were neither memorable enough or annoying enough. They were like that perfect sort of just fodder.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, whatever. They're characters here. Are they going to survive? Or will they not survive? Do I need to care too much about any of these characters? Not really. They got enough story for there to be something here, but whatever. Something we talked about in Spoilercast is I don't like the way the change in setting, I guess, the end of the movie and just the way that all sort of wraps up. Really, like, they do the whole thing where they don't know how to end the movie. I feel that's sort of the major negative. So, but otherwise, it's a very enjoyable time. Very enjoyable 90 minutes.
Yep. And it's doing very successfully in the box office, so pretty happy to see that. It made like 1.5 million here in Australia, and did very well overseas, biting into the Ant-Man box office revenue drastically. So yeah, check out Cocaine Bear, and then go listen to our spoilercast over at explosion.com or in this podcast feed. So we've just finished watching The Mandalorian Season 3 premiere. Of course, you know, Mandalorian is back. He's got little baby Yoda with him. So Dylan, what did you think of the premiere of The Mandalorian?
His name's Grogu. It was
Whatever.
fine. It was a perfectly acceptable episode of no. Pedro Pascal gets really annoyed now if you don't remember it's Grogu. Okay? Pedro Pascal.
He's very protective of his children.
He is, it's true. Yeah, it was a very mediocre episode of The Mandalorian. Not really what you want coming into a brand new season of a show that's been away for quite some time, especially after the mess that was the Book of Boba Fett.
It's been like 2.5 years, right?
Yeah, it's been nearly 3 years, Ash. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't like the majority of the setup and weird sort of plot things that happen in this episode, but it's nice to have Grogu and Din back together doing stuff together, and Grogu's generally very cute, and there's a lot more color, I guess, and lively characters in this episode. It's not just visiting a bunch of sand planets with people where they wear grey and cream, and that's the majority of how the last 2 seasons went, I feel. So we'll see how it all comes together. But yeah, there's one moment of that really I enjoyed for a whole of 25 seconds. But yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I didn't love the episode, but I thought it was pretty solid. Grogu, very adorable, like ridiculously adorable. It's been so long, so it's seen new adorableness. But yeah, I think there's a lot of like fan servicey kind of elements. They're just trying to bring a character back, that died off in the show, and you've also got that element of, if you didn't watch Book of Boba Fett, none of this shit makes any sense. So yeah, it's an interesting one. But yeah, I'm keen for the rest of the season because obviously, Jin's really cool. They get to showcase of his new spaceship really well, and he's got a clear mission for this season. I don't recall if there was out of the box, this is what we're doing this season, other than
for last season
protect the kid.
Yeah, it was get the kid to his people. That was the plot the last 2 seasons. Okay, get the kid to a Jedi.
So this we got a new plot. It's not trying to get rid of this kid anymore.
No.
All right. So yeah, check out. We did a full episode discussion over on Holocron entries. So we'll be doing the show The Mandalorians for the next 8 weeks. Yay! So I went to an advanced screening of Creed 3. So this is the 3rd film in the spin-off series to the Rocky films, in which Michael B. Jordan plays Adonis Creed, the son of Apollo Creed, who becomes a boxer and becomes world heavyweight champion and all that. This one directed by Michael B. Jordan. So before going into this movie, I watched Creed 1 again. Great movie. Creed 2.
Bad movie.
Enjoyed it more the second time.
Really?
I think going in, I feel like it was the anticipation of what potentially could be there and feeling like they didn't meet the potential.
It was a Rocky movie more than Creed movie.
I feel like that wasn't as much of an issue the second time watching. Like, went in expecting a lot of Rocky, and it wasn't as much as I remembered there being. Of course, there is the element of Rocky. He loses the fight when Rocky's not there, but then he wins the fight when Rocky is there. So, there's that element. But yeah, I enjoyed the Creed 2 more on the second viewing. Leading up to Creed 3, no Rocky. There is not a mention of Rocky in this film. And it's all the better for it because it's a fantastic movie. So much fun. Brilliantly well-told story. Michael B. Jordan's fantastic. Jonathan Majors, if he wasn't a star already, he would be after this because he is charismatic as fuck. Looks amazing, like intimidating force. So he plays Dame Anderson, who lived in the group home that Adonis was staying in before he gets adopted by Apollo Creed's wife. So they're old friends. They got into an incident in which Dame got put into prison. He's been in prison the last 18 years. But before that, Dame was like a golden slugger, or like a huge boxing prospect. So he comes out, and at this point, Creed is retired from boxing. The opening match of the film is Creed retiring from the sport of boxing.
Is this like years after 2 then? Like,
a few years. Yeah, it's probably set a few years, and then I think there's like a 3-year jump. So then, Dame comes back into Creed's life, wanting to become champ, and things take a turn from there. It's really good. Obviously, with the absence of Rocky, there's room for people like Tessa Thompson and Felicia Richard to have more screen time, storylines, and that kind of stuff. I think the relationship between Tessa and Michael B. Jordan is fantastic in this. They have really lovely, playful banter in the start. Obviously, they've got a daughter in this film because obviously they had a daughter in the second movie, but she's obviously a lot more grown up. And them talking about how they're trying to parent her and that kind of stuff. I think there is a couple of story threads that maybe they kind of dropped the ball with, or didn't fully develop as much as they probably could have. But yeah, I think it's super enjoyable. The fights are fantastic. It's it's definitely different to the other two films, where obviously the first one felt very realistic. It felt like you were almost watching the fights on TV and that kind of stuff. That's the kind of style that Ryan Coogler was going for.
I always keep reading these things about Michael B. Jordan saying in interviews he's inspired by anime or some shit for the shooting the fights.
You have no idea.
He super punches people.
I mean,
does it come up bam wham?
Does
he get in a corner and does he Super Saiyan?
His hair does not turn yellow in this movie.
Okay.
I'll say that. But there is some amazing artistic liberties taken in the depiction of the boxing in this match, in this film, that I'm on board with. I think is a really strong emotional story. And I feel like, obviously, going into the second movie, that was the thing that kind of disappointed us the most, was that there wasn't this emotional connection between Creed and the Dragos. There was you killed my dad kind of thing, but that none of the stuff was kind of explored. And this is a movie where there is talk of emotions and talking through your trauma and opening up and the mental health and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool to see all those sort of elements in this very macho fight film. But yeah, I think it's probably up there as one of the best movies of the year so far. So yeah, Creed 3. Go see it in cinemas. It's amazing. Very cool to see on the big screen. Dylan, you watched The Consultant over on Prime Video.
Yeah, is this out? I lost track of time. I stole my holiday. Okay, damn it. So The Consultant is a weird show. I'll give it that. So it starts with this. So it's set in a game studio. Basically, they make apps, the app-based games. So they're all the microtransactions sort of based ones, I guess, and stuff like that. But they're the owner or whatever CEO, the head dude, dies at the start. This kid shoots him, comes in. It's a very dark start, and then in comes Christoph Waltz, who's the consultant. No one knows where he's come from or what he's doing here, but he's come in to sort of fix up the studio and get things running back together. The main characters are played by Nat Wolff and Brittany O'Grady, and they're sort of best work buddies or whatever. And they sort of start digging into him, and they start finding out weird stuff about him, and there's just stuff that's generally off with him. His whole vibe's weird. He starts wanting to fire people because they smell weird. He doesn't he asks the first day there, he's what do we sell? It doesn't even know what it is that the company sells and all these sorts of things. So very weird show. I watched it very quickly because it's very bingeable. You'll sort of finish one episode after another, and want to keep going. I think they're releasing week by week though. I don't remember how many Amazon dropped to begin with. It probably was their usual 3, or did they drop them all? Let's have a quick look. See here. No, they dropped them all.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah, you could definitely binge it all. I think they're half-hour episodes, so it's not particularly long. But still my list of things I would want to do a review for. Just time lost me. That definitely worth watching for Christoph Waltz. I don't think it's going to work for everyone because it does get very weird, especially towards the end. And I feel like there's a particular moment where either what the idea and like the themes that the show is trying to play around with are either going to work for you or you're going to hate everything about it and it just won't work for you at all. Like you'll sort of just like disconnect and find it really hard to keep going with the show. But it worked for me. Not the best thing ever, but it's definitely worth watching just for Christoph Waltz having, I don't know, like he's just off it in this to a degree. if you like Christoph Waltz being just weird, wacky bad guy, that's the show. That's the show. Christoph Waltz, the weird, wacky bad guy.
Who doesn't love that? All right. So you also checked out a film on Shudder, Spoonful of Sugar. It's got anything to do with Mary Poppins?
Yeah, it does. It's actually a remake of that, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's like
no. So this, yeah, everything comes around.
It's all about right.
It's all about right. Yeah. Spoonful of Sugar is there you go, and a weird one as well. But so it's got this girl. I can't remember her name. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But she at the start of the movie, she like goes for this job. She wants to be a babysitting job, right? So she goes and interviews, and she's meets with the mother and everything, and they tell you about the kid. The kid's name's Johnny, I think. Little Johnny, and he's got apparently allergies to everything. You know, he can't go outside. Sun hurts him. Can't touch certain like nickels and weird like things that you'd find in a lot of places.
So he's like any kid right now.
And yeah. Can't touch any of that. He'll just like fucking die.
Can't have gluten.
Apparently.
Can't. No.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Can't have peanuts.
Everything. He's got like allergies to everything.
Okay.
Sugar, of course. It's in the title, spoonful of sugar. Can't have sugar. He'll fucking die. All this stuff he'll die. So they want to hire this babysitter because the mum's a busy author. The father is, I don't know really. He's sort of disconnected to his child. I guess is the easiest way to explain it. But little do they know that I just checked, the girl's name's Millicent. Little they know that little old Millicent, she in this interview at the start of the movie, she seems perfectly fine. She's definitely like a well put together young lady who's going to college and everything. Nope, she's got a lot of trauma that she's tackling from her past, and she was prescribed a certain amount of LSD by her psychiatrist to help her get through certain things, but she's definitely taking more than she should be every day to get on with life, and these things aren't all going to meld together very well. But it's an interesting movie. I liked what it chucks a whole bunch of things that you go like, how do all these different themes, like how does this girl who's like obviously like she's dealing with something traumatic that the film keeps teasing with like consistently, like how are they going to deal with that? With the what's happening with the kid, with like this sort of neglect of like parenting and all the, like it has all these like ideas. I think they come together to form like a good ending, I guess, by the way everything sort of wraps up, has these like good performances and everything. Sort of the pacing's a bit off between the scenes throughout the rest of the movie. It's only an hour 30 or whatever, so but yeah, it's not like I'd say it needs to be shorter. I just feel like some editing could have been tighter here and there, because at times I'm just like, I feel like the scene could have just moved on by now, just to tighten it up a little bit to help with it all. But yeah, it's a weird movie. It's not, don't go into it thinking it's gonna do that whole like, oh man, she's on drugs, everything's like really trippy. Like it's just she's just on drugs. Like, and the movie plays it serious. Like it's just her life. So don't go into it expecting that. But otherwise, yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
All right. Let's move into the mandatory Netflix segment of the show. So watch season 6 of Drive to Survive. Of course, it's the F1 documentary. No, season 5? Season 5 of Drive to Survive. They all blend together. Yeah, obviously, fantastic. Really well done. They did it, yeah. I would recommend checking out our good friend Simon Blackburn's new project, F1 Pocket, on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, I don't know if he's got YouTube, but he talks about it and talks about what important omissions they made. This season. They got Max Verstappen, the world champion, back on the show after he kind of like didn't want to do it because they kind of painted him as a villain because he's a dick, or he was, and now he's back on the show. So they were kind of like being very nice to him. There was like this during the season. There was like a big rivalry between him and his teammate because he wouldn't follow team orders to let his teammate pass and like that kind of stuff. That was all like kind of skipped over and not addressed in any way. Other elements like kind of skipped over. Teams were barely mentioned or featured at all. But the big depressing thing is this is the last we'll probably see of Daniel Ricciardo on the show. He was a major part of the show, the major charismatic figure. Then it's going to be interesting to see how the show survives without Daniel on the show. But yeah, obviously they hit a lot of key moments. I think an interesting one is Kevin Magnussen coming in right at the start of the season. They kind of do have a little bit of the behind the scenes of them having to get rid of the Russian driver at the start of the season because, Russians, am I right? Not a great look to have a Russian on your F1 racing team going around the world while they're invading Ukraine.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
Like, I know what you're talking about is F1 and
yes,
all that sort of stuff. That's a cool story and all. But I just saw a message pop up, buddy, right? And then he asked what I was doing, and I said I was recording. What do you want to watch just quickly? He said that you won a boxing prize. And then I said, what boxing prize? And then he said, you seriously aren't recording a bunch of pogs now, and he hasn't told you. And then I said, he hasn't. No, I'm going to interrupt whatever he's talking about now. So
they had like a boxing training like giveaway thing as a door prize for the screening, and we won it.
How'd you enter it though?
Everybody got entered into it. Like they gave tickets.
Oh,
like
what would you win?
It's like 28 days of training or whatever, and like a boxing.
Gonna go?
Thing. I guess. I don't want to waste it. I guess.
You'll be the next Creed.
I know. No. I saw the training they do. I don't want to be pulling planes and shit.
You can chase chickens.
Maybe.
Pretty for packs. Make it your hashtag. No one's ever done it before.
So yeah, F1. I hope Buddy gets a kick out of this. So yeah, that Drive Survive. If you've been watching it, I'm sure you kept watching it. Yeah. I also watched the documentary series Murders. I think I'm pronouncing that right. A Southern Scandal. So this is a documentary series about this Murdoch family who are in this South Carolina town. They're like kind of like their family's like a big deal. And pretty much they run the town. They run a massive law firm. The dad has like connections on the force and all this kind of stuff. And then one night his son is driving a boat around the river with a bunch of his friends. He's super drunk. He shouldn't be driving this boat, but he's refusing to let all the other people drive it or anybody else to drive it or them to go home with not on a boat. He proceeds to like drive the boat into a bridge. And then one of the like a girl is killed in the process. And then they try to do this massive cover up to try and get him not involved, whether it's like tampering with police and that kind of stuff, or trying to frame it, pin it on one of his other friends as if they were driving the boat. But yeah, as the court case is proceeding, suddenly the kid and the mother are murdered in their house.
Oh my god.
The father comes across them like after he's visiting his parents or whatever. And yeah, they've just been randomly murdered. Him taking a shotgun to the chest, and the mother shot in the back as if she was running away or something. Turns out it's probably the dad. He's been charged. It kind of explores the whole family history, goes into the night of the boat crash, and then also kind of looking into the past history of this family, because there is other bodies that they might also be connected to, that they kind of bring up, theorize, and that kind of thing, and kind of delve into how this guy is trying to get away with murdering his wife and kids. There is some wild, crazy stuff in this, but it's also terribly depressing, because obviously there's a lot of just these 18 and 19-year-olds having to deal with this massive trauma of one of their close friends dying for no good reason, really. It's interesting because the court case is currently ongoing, so it's kind of seems odd that they would put it out while this seems like a witness tampering kind of thing, That said, they're in a state, he's being charged in a state that's he knows everybody, so it's kind of a weird situation. So yeah, Murtaugh Murders, I would recommend checking that out. Alright, that's everything in our watch history for this week. Let's move into a little bit of film news. Big story this week was Warner Brothers and New Line are going back to Middle Earth, with the studio making a deal that will allow it to develop more Lord of the Rings films. So I'm reading from The Hollywood Reporter. The multi-year pact with rights holder Embracer Group AB allows Warner's to develop features based on J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings books and The Hobbit. Embracer Group, the Swedish gaming company, acquired the rights to produce Lord of the Rings games, merchandise, theme park attractions, and live productions when it purchased right holders Middle-earth Enterprises last year from the Saul Zenet's company. The move announced during Warner Brothers' investor call Thursday comes as CEO David Zaslav seeks to assure Wall Street that Warner is very much in the franchise game. Here, harking back to the 2000s glory days when the studio was minting money with Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. Back in November, Zaslav said he initially floated the notion of a Lord of the Rings return. In a statement, Jackson and his Lord of the Rings partner, Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens noted they were aware of the latest development. Said the trio, Warner Brothers and Embracer have kept us in the loop every step of the way. We are looking forward to seeking with them further to hear their vision for the franchise moving forward. So it looks like Warner Brothers is getting back into the Lord of the Rings. Is this an interesting move for you, Dylan?
Interesting. What a word. It's a move. It's a move that I guess makes sense. I'm not surprised, but nothing about it makes me particularly happy or excited either. I don't know.
I think
you know
it's
what I mean?
It's surprising because Amazon is currently doing a TV show based on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
One of the biggest shows of the 2022.
Yeah, well,
one of the most expensive, at least.
Warner Brothers want some of that pie.
They're trying to find another way to fuck Amazon over. They've debuted House of the Dragon straight up against Lord of the Rings. Now they're making more Lord of the Rings films.
I don't care for any of this particularly. I didn't mind the Prime series because they were from the outset they were it's ages thousands of years prior to the movies. Nothing to do with them. We're going to leave them as is. It's sort of our own story. We're not adapting any particular book. It was all to me, they were all tick boxes of okay, you're expanding upon the universe. You're doing your own sort of thing. Cool. That sounds to me like the version of Warner Brothers is going for is they may just either remake the movies or do something that's closer to the movies. They're going to go for the thing that's the most what can we do that's the closest to getting us the money the quickest.
Dylan. Legacy sequels.
Yeah, legacy fuckers.
We're gonna get the Legolas Gimli team up movie that we all want. Yeah. We're going to get the further adventures of Samwise Gamgee. We're definitely going to get an Aragorn movie. That's a given. Bring back Viggo. Liv Tyler. Probably Eowyn film, you know? What's she up to? You know? Gandalf film.
Yeah.
Done. It's the Lord of the Rings expanded universe.
Cool. I hate everything you just said.
Is there anything that would make you interested out of this deal?
No.
No. Not until you see
particularly.
something.
Not until I see something. There's nothing I can think of off the top of my head. I'm currently invested in the Rings of Power, and that's all I really need.
That's all you've got. Well, obviously it's interesting because we already knew that they were making the War of Rohirrim animated film.
That's different.
Which is still slated for April 2024. So they were still kind of dipping their toes in the...
Yeah. I still feel like that's different.
Do you reckon they made this deal purely because of the success of the Amazon series? Or this was something that they probably had?
No, if that series bombed, there's no way they do this either. They don't do this if the series bombs. If the series bombs and they're like, fuck, no one likes Lord of the Rings anymore. Hey, they're not going to do this.
Yeah.
No way.
I don't know. I would be interested to see what kind of crazy spin-off stories they could pull off. Because I'm a bit of a sadist. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. We've had enough superheroes. Let's just get back into the fancy.
Give me like a Hobbit cooking show.
Yeah, what if it's just like Samwise Gamgee and it's just like a family drama?
Yeah.
It's like him trying to raise his kids while dealing with the
Merry and Pippin.
His trek to Mordor.
Yeah, I reckon you do Merry and Pippin, a 5-minute YouTube series straight to Quibi, actually, where they review weed. They review weed. Like it's just like they just give out of 5.
They should have
each strand.
They should have like a Stoner Bros movie. You know?
Yeah.
They should have like Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. It should be Merry and Pippin go to somewhere in somewhere in Middle Earth.
Yeah, Merry and Pippin go to Mordor.
They're not going to Mordor. Why do you keep thinking Pippin?
It's okay now. It's okay now.
Oh, it's all fixed now. Okay.
It's all fixed now.
Didn't it all fall into the earth?
Yeah,
the entire country.
Now there's a 5 guys there.
All right. The other kind of interesting story that has been making headlines. HBO's Dune prequel TV series Long Journey to the Screen is taking another turn. Dune the Sisterhood, which started production in late November, is undergoing a creative shift, a director change, and a recasting. Chernobyl executive producer Johan Rennick, who had signed on to direct the first 2 episodes, has exited the project. Search is underway for its replacement as production has been put on hold. Shirley Henderson, who had been tapped as one of the leads, is also leaving. Her role of Tula Harkonnen will be recast. It is in addition to creator Diane Adub-John, who had written the pilot script, stepping down as co-showrunner in the run-up to the production, with veteran TV writer-producer Alston Shapka becoming sole showrunner of the legendary produced series. As Dune the Sisterhood has entered a pre-production hiatus, there are some creative changes being made to the production in an effort to create the best series possible, and stay true to the source material, an HBO spokesman said in a statement to Deadline. Yeah. So apparently, according to sources, the 11th hour showrunner change put pressure on Shapka and a team to make major rewrites on the fly as the series was beginning production in Budapest. Meanwhile, we hear Rennick's author approach did not jibe with the extremist vision for the series and was a departure from the look of Villeneuve's films, which led to his departure. Apparently, he has since deleted any Dune content from his Instagram account, including his November 22 post announcing start of production. Dylan, are we ever going to see this Dune the Sisterhood TV series?
Yeah. I was reading this earlier today, this Variety report or whatever. It just makes me wonder, how some things get, how some people get hired and they get the jobs and everything initially. Because if the major problem is oh, hey, your vision as director doesn't vibe with what we want as the producers of this series, isn't that like one of the first things you would cover? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like, hey, you sit down for the interview, you're like, hey, I love Denis' film. I love the Dune series. Fucking awesome. Here's my vision. Blah, 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 blah. I want to keep it in tone. Like, if someone comes on, they're like, look, here's my other movies I've done. I'm going to shoot it like that. It's going to be completely different to how you shot the film. And then you go, red flag. We don't actually want that. Because the thing is, I saw some people comments be like, this is like creative restriction and stuff. Like, I disagree on this account. When it's so they're trying to make a series that's a spin-off from a movie and everything, and them as a studio are trying to keep it somewhat cohesive in vision.
Yeah.
Whether or not you agree that's a good choice or not, I don't feel like that's...
They're
like,
writing the checks. That's their choice.
It's a bit different if that person was trying to make their movie and then the studio is trying to restrict their like actual creative vision in their original movie or something, like where they got given free reign or what. Like, I understand how like that if you're doing something that's part of a bigger IP, a bigger property, that you may want to have a creative through line for it, similar to Marvel or whatever. So I get it. It just makes me wonder how you get to this stage.
How do you get so far into the process?
Yeah,
where that's why literally cameras rolling.
Yeah. And then the first dailies come in or something, and someone at Warner Brothers is watching them going,
why is everything shot from first person view?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, yeah. So that's the part that confuses me. So, yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like this project is kind of cursed. Because obviously I feel like they wanted it done a while ago, and obviously COVID slowed everything down, but to have so many key people kind of walk out, not a very promising sign.
Well, I mean, to a degree, I don't think everyone is like. I reckon a bunch of people walking and falling off is because they're like, I signed on to do this for 3 months,
and now things have changed.
And
scheduling.
Now you're expecting me to poll. I've got this other project. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
So like,
no, that could 100% be the case. But yeah, I mean, maybe it works because probably odds are Dune 2 will be out before this even is close to
I always
finished.
assumed they wanted this out after Dune 2 anyway.
Maybe. I think when they initially pitched it, I think it was meant to be in between. But now that everything's happened.
Because even if everything runs smoothly and they only just started shooting it, it was never going to come out before Dune 2 anyway.
That's true.
So, yeah.
I guess other thing, Screen Actor Guild Awards was this past week. Lots of big winners. Key, of course, to the Oscars in just a few weeks. With the big acting awards for films. Outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role went to Brendan Fraser for The Whale. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a leading role went to Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Ke Huy Quan won Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And Jamie Lee Curtis won Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role for Everything Everywhere All at Once. While Everything Everywhere All at Once, unsurprisingly, took out Outstanding Performance by a Cast. Do you think we're going to see an acting sweep for Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No, because that's not what I predicted. So it's not going to happen. I stand by my...
I mean... Yeah, I think all of us went for Cate Blanchett over Michelle Yeoh, so I mean, that was a bit surprising.
Also, if Jamie Lee Curtis wins, I don't know how she keeps... No offense to Jamie Lee Curtis, she's good in the movie, but I have no idea how she keeps winning. Or even people care to nominate her over... Lady what's her face, or anyone,
Angela
a bunch
Bassett.
of people. No, well, Angela Bassett's one of the options. What's the girl
Stephanie
from
Shu.
Everything? Yes, yeah. Like, how the fuck?
She had a romance with hot dog fingers.
I don't care.
Yeah. Other interesting over on the TV side, Sam Elliott won for Outstanding Male Actor in a TV Movie or Limited Series for 1883. Jessica Chastain won for George and Tammy, which apparently is a limited or TV movie over on Showtime. Outstanding Male Actor in a Drama Series, Jason Bateman for Ozark. Outstanding Female Actor in a Drama Series, Jennifer Coolidge for White Lotus. Do you want to make your usual joke?
I got no energy left, Ash. Just move on.
She wasn't even nominated, Dylan.
Yeah, that's
There's only one actor category
yeah.
for drama. There's no supporting. Jeremy Allen White won for Best Actor in a Comedy Series. Jean Smart won Best Actor in a Female Actor in a Comedy Series. White Lotus won Best Drama Series Cast, and Abbott Elementary won Best Ensemble for a Comedy Series. Also, the stunt categories. Outstanding Performance by Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture went to Top Gun Maverick. Interesting. While
Nice.
Outstanding Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Comedy or Drama Series went to Stranger Things. Also interesting.
Makes sense. No,
I guess the Top Gun one is like... Because you don't see any stunt people, I guess. Because everybody's on camera. All the actors are on camera.
Yeah, but who's
The
flying
people
planes
flying
when they're
the
not?
planes, I guess, are the stunt people. Yeah.
Just, yeah.
It's not as obvious, I don't think. Yeah. All the other,
Yeah.
the people getting shot down out of the planes. I don't know if they actually... how much stunts are doing for that. But yeah, good work. Stunts should be a category at the Academy Awards. Also at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, Sally Field was honoured with the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award. I figured, seeing as she was honoured this week, we should do this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
Top 3 Sally Field performances. I'm just switching stuff around, putting in stuff, normally towards the end of the show. So yeah, that's this week's top 3. Dylan, what is your number 3 Sally Field performance?
I'm gonna be honest. Look, for all of Sally Field's movies, I have a very limited supply. Gonna be completely honest. Number 3, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay.
She's the
mum.
What is she, the
She's
mum?
the ex-wife.
Yeah, I guess it's the mum. Yeah. Obviously, most people remember that movie for Mr. Williams. But yeah, she's a prominent part of that movie as well. So go for Mrs. Doubtfire.
My number 3, she's in Winning Time, the history of the Los Angeles Lakers. She plays the mother of
Sports.
of Jerry Buss. So she's a schemer. She's really funny, really delightful. Gives a really great performance in a really good show. Yeah, Sally Field, really good in that. Dylan, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is a movie I haven't watched for since I was 15. But Smokey and the Bandit. She's the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. My number 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2. She is a great Aunt May. Obviously, she has some great scenes there with Peter. Obviously, this one, she's trying to... there's so many fun comedic moments where she's trying to do the washing. He's trying to wash his suit. And, doesn't understand. Lots of funny miscommunications. But then she's also there for when, shit goes dark. When the bodies hit the floor. Yeah. That's my number 2. Dylan, what is your number 1 Sally Field performance?
Forrest Gump.
Mine is also Forrest Gump.
There you go.
Her character literally coined the phrase, life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah. His mother always used to say.
Yeah. It is crazy. That movie came out, 1996?
Something like that, yeah.
She plays
That's
Tom
it,
Hanks'
so.
mother.
Yeah.
And then she's still playing the mother role so many years later.
She found her She found her thing.
Found her thing, you know.
Mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mother.
Congrats, Sally-Field. All right, let's give some thumbs to some trailers. Of course, you can find all the trailers we're going to talk about this week in the show notes, or you can head over to this post on explosionhour.com. The first trailer for this week is The Pope's Exorcist, directed by Julius Avery, starring Russell Crowe, Daniel Zavato, Alex Esso, and Franco Nero. Father Gabriel Amorth, chief exorcist for the Vatican, battles Satan and innocent possessing demons. A detailed portrait of a priest who performed more than 100,000 exorcisms in his lifetime. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for The Pope's Exorcist?
Double thumbs down. This looks terrible. So like this dude's real, right? So I do a Wikipedia. Sounds like a really potentially interesting movie you can make about this Pope, right? Whether or not you believe in exorcisms or not, the dude was a legit, like, he did exorcisms. Well, he did something.
Truly believed he was doing.
He truly believed he was doing. However you want to word it, yeah. So I'm like, surely there's an interesting movie here. Instead, they've gone for like the most generic looking B grade level exorcism film where Russell Crowe's doing. I don't know what the fuck Russell Crowe's doing. Fucking Russell Crowe's just. I think this is Russell Crowe's first horror movie. I don't think he's ever been in a horror movie before, unless you want to count The Mummy. But like I couldn't think of any, and I'm like, well, this is why. I'm going to dump fans though. This looks bad. This looks really bad.
Yeah, this is 2 thumbs down from me. I think it looks like the Vatican approved version of Constantine.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like Russell Crowe's in this phase where he just wants to do accents. You know, you all loved him in Thor: Love and Thunder. He's crazy.
Is there a thing where like people tell him because all his friends around him won't tell him that he's bad at accents and he just thinks he's really good at accents? So, I
enjoy listening to him, but it's not a good accent. Yeah, it's just so, you know. And then you've got this kid with the most British voice possible.
Oi, governor! I'm fucking I'm fucking
possessing this kid.
Fucking possessed, eh,
fucking
mate?
Great.
Get the bloody priest down here, or
that priest.
You fucking cunt.
You know which priest. And then there's this massive conspiracy theory about hidden
yeah,
rooms.
That was the part where I was like, oh man, you've when you talk about jumping the shark, we've gone there.
It's like The Mummy. It's kind of funny, which he was a part of. So yeah, this movie that only just got a trailer is coming out on the 6th of April. In cinemas.
Cool. Probably won't watch it.
Look forward to that. It could be fun.
Yeah.
B grade.
Yeah.
Matter. Next trailer: Peter Pan and Wendy, directed by David Lowery, starring Alexander Maloney, Eva Anderson, Jude Law, Yara Shahidi, Alyssa Wapatak, Joshua Pickering, Jacoby Jupe, Molly Parker, Alan Tudyk, and Jim Jaffigan. Peter Pan and Wendy introduces Wendy Darling, a young girl afraid to leave her childhood home behind, who meets Peter Pan, a boy who refuses to grow up. Alongside her brothers and a tiny fairy, Tinkerbell, she travels with Peter to the magical world of Neverland. There she encounters an evil pirate captain, Captain Hook, and embarks on a thrilling and dangerous adventure that will change her life forever. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Peter Pan and Wendy?
Oh, looked like a Disney Plus movie, didn't it? Not for me. I sort of follow in the sentiments of a bunch of people have been posting their jokes on Twitter about the lighting and stuff. And it is a good question. Like, why is everything dark? Why?
Dylan, it's nighttime.
Constantly? Like, if you go through the trailer, there's a shot, like, not to go like full corridor crew, which, by the way, get off your fucking AI technology. There's a shot of this where they're flying over a lake, right? And it's daytime. and there's a sun above them, and then the camera shows a shot from below where they're like their bodies are all dark. But I'm like, but the sun would reflect off the river.
Light works different in Everland.
I mean, lighting aside, it still just looks very generic. Like, there's nothing. Yeah, I'll go one up, one down. I don't know. Maybe some kids will enjoy it and whatever else, but yeah, I'll go one up, one down. Sure.
Yeah, I went one up, one down as well. It looks fine. I mean, we've seen the Peter Pan story kind of a lot. So there's that. He's in the green suit, just like the Disney movie. So I guess that's the Disneyfication of it. Yeah, it's perfectly average. You know, it would have been fun if you got to see a little bit more of Tinkerbell, a little bit more of Captain Hook. Yeah, there's not a lot in this trailer. It's like we're flying, we're here, we're Lost Boys. You know, they get separated. I guess that's a bit different. We're flying. Yeah, it's most interesting thing of this is David Lowery is directing this, who has one of the most eclectic collections of films that he's directed. So he directs the film Ain't Them Body Saints in 2013. Casey Affleck, Rooney Mara, romantic crime drama. 2016, he does the live action adaptation of Pete's Dragon, very well received. 2017, A Ghost Story, supernatural drama starring Casey Affleck, Rooney Mara again, about one of the people die and he just
gets award nominated though. Right.
Yeah, but very different to Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
Then he does Old Man and the Gun, 2018. It was supposed to be Robert Redford's last film. I don't think it was. Definitely was, because then he was in Endgame like a year later.
Was he in Endgame?
Yeah, for like a second.
Doesn't count.
2021, he does The Green Knight. And now he's doing Peter Pan and Wendy.
I think they're all very similar.
All very similar themes. Visually, all the same.
I think so, yeah.
Alright, we'll agree to disagree. So yeah. Peter Pan and Wendy coming to Disney Plus exclusively on April 28th. Next trailer. What?
Oh, sorry.
28th.
Oh, okay, right.
Next trailer, Boston Strangler, directed by Matt Ruskin, starring Keira Knightley, Carrie Coon, Alessandro Nivola, Chris Cooper, David Dastmalchian, and Morgan Spector. Reporter Loretta McLaughlin becomes the first person to connect a series of murders and break the story of the Boston Strangler. She and Jean Cole challenged the sexism of the early 1960s to report on the city's most notorious serial killer. So, what do you think of this trailer?
I'm going one up, one down on the trailer. I feel like it was a very generic sort of trailer for this type of movie. However, I'm very much looking forward to the movie. I think it's a good subject matter. Keira Knightley looks great and all those sorts of things. So I'm very keen on the movie. I like movies about like the genre of people reporting on things for newspapers, like that, you know, that specific genre of movies that exists. But yeah, I'll go one up, one down. The trailer's just sort of generic for the what it is.
Yeah, I'd agree. One up, one down. Generic is the right word. It just looks like, you know, any serial killer kind of movie, I guess, and someone reporting on it. I don't know. Is David Dastmalchian the killer?
I assume
that's
so,
simple, right?
No, that's
So,
look at him.
Wow. I mean, sure, he's been typecast in that. You know.
Sure, he's been typecast before, but why would he be the
But
bad guy
also,
again?
if he was a red herring, that would be, you know, the same as Prisoners. You know, where he was a red herring in that.
True.
Potentially,
Yeah.
if you've watched
Spoilers.
the movie. Yeah, obviously, you know, you get an idea of what the movie's about from the title, but it's about a guy who strangles people in Boston. So, yeah, definitely interested at least to check it out. So this is coming to Disney Plus on the 17th of March. The next trailer we've got is The Power, created by Rayleigh Tucker, Naomi Oldman, and Sarah Quintrell, starring Toni Collette, Ali Crivola, and John Leguizamo. The world of The Power is our world, but for one twist of nature. Suddenly and without warning, all teenage girls in the world develop the power to electrocute people at will. It's hereditary, it's inbuilt, and it can't be taken away from them. Coming alive to the thrill of pure power, the ability to hurt or even kill by releasing electrical jolts from their fingertips, they rapidly learn they can awaken the power in older women. Soon enough, nearly every woman in the world can do it, and then everything is different. So, what do you think of the trailer for Power? The Power.
We haven't talked about this before. I just dreamt it.
No.
Okay. I swear we talked about this like weeks ago. Anyway, yeah, I go double thumbs up. I think it looks cool. I remember maybe it's just maybe there was a press release like weeks ago and I watched this or something and I just dreamt about it. Because I remember, a while back whenever I first saw the trailer and I was Googling what it's based on and like reading about how the book like is told like from a different perspective and like have you Googled it? Like
no. So
like the book is apparently because this show is going to have like more of a typical narrative structure, right? You know, like lead characters, blah 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 blah. Apparently the book is like set in the future, some characters like writing, and then it's sort of just a bunch of different people's stories. It doesn't really have one person's.
So it's more like a history of.
Yeah, I guess like that sort of thing. So yeah, like slightly, yeah. So I thought
it's
that
more
was
like the book World War Z, and then the movie turned out different.
Yes. So hopefully this doesn't follow in that sort of footprint. But interesting setup. Cool cast. I'm going to double thumbs up. I think this one looks really intriguing.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1 up, 1 down. I'm optimistic. Sure. The concept is interesting of just women just suddenly being able to use electricity through their fingertips and like how does that change the power structure of the world?
I'll tell you, because they can fucking electrocute anyone.
Yeah, it changes things, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely intrigued. Toni Collette obviously is a big draw. Just them having this the like training sequence, I guess, kind of outside, and her accidentally like setting her notebook on fire and that kind of stuff. I think there'll be a lot of fun stuff, and then you've obviously got this crazy person who wants to run their dad's gangster operation or whatever, and just threaten to electrocute people and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's got a interesting hook. So yeah, this is coming to Prime Video on the 31st of March.
Electrical, even.
Yep. Last trailer for this week, Swarm, created by Donald Glover and Janine Neighbors, starring Dominique Fishback and Chloe Bailey and Damson Idris. An obsessed Houston-based fan goes to increasingly violent lengths for a favorite R&B singer. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Swarm?
Double thumbs up. Looks wild. It reminds me of, there was actually I think it was a Creep show. That one that's on Shudder. I think that's what it's called. Is that was Creep Show, right? Yes. I'm going insane. I think it was that last series Creep Show that had a short which was about like two people like being obsessed with like a star and then like sort of like trying to track them down. They literally hear that the star's giving birth at a hospital, so they sneak into the hospital to try and like meet up with their favorite artist. Like, so weirdly watching this, it was like thematically reminding me of the same sort of like obsessive behavior from people. Otherwise, it looks nothing the same. It's just like the setup, but yeah, it looks wild. Looks like I guess that sort of tongue in cheek horror comedy, dark comedy horror, I guess would be because it's not like laugh out loud. I don't think, but yeah, really, really good trailer. I'm keen to watch this. Double thumbs up.
Yeah, there's 2 thumbs up from me. Like the build up of this thing. Obviously, it is clearly based on Beyonce fans, or at least it's pretty clear that the R&B artist is heavily influenced by Beyonce, of course, Queen Bee, Bees, Swarm. It all makes sense. Even the joke at the end where someone likes her sister more, prefers listening to her sister. Yeah, crazy. Some interesting imagery in there of like her mopping up blood and clearly
Like that
taking a
part-
dead body in a car.
Yeah, I like that part where her friends like try to, but it's just like, no. It's like, what do you got, a dead body in there? Like, it's just
The most forced laugh possible.
Yeah, most forced laugh.
Yeah, very keen. So this is coming to Prime Video on the 17th of March. All dropping at once. So
Damn.
there we go.
Damn,
All right.
Damn.
Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
This week I want to watch Creed. It's pretty straightforward
3,
this week. Yeah, this week I want to watch Creed 3. I was saying right before I was going to record, I was about to buy him a ticket, and then you were like giving me this whole like, I don't know, maybe shouldn't, don't fucking, maybe why. Trying to play all coy,
got you.
but, yeah, got me good. So yeah, this week I want to watch Creed 3.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to you about it. This week, I want to watch Weird. The Weird Al Yankovic story coming to Paramount Plus, 2nd of March. Yeah, finally,
This is this.
us Australians can watch it legally.
Yeah.
Even though, you know,
Right.
we've had our blessing,
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, Weird Al was
Al,
already like, just fucking pirate that shit.
But yeah, I'm excited. Going to see Daniel Radcliffe doing his thing.
Mm.
Playing
Did you see the collector's
accordion.
edition that Umbrella, I think it was Umbrella, that was like putting out, like they had a collector's edition of it that were coming out, kind of like the full
Yeah.
like shirt and everything like that. I thought that was really funny.
Fantastic. All right, let us know what you want to watch. What are your top 3 Sally Field performances? And anything else, anything else that we talked about on this episode by going to explosion.com/Twitter, jump into Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars. Tell people about the show, or head over to explosionerror.com. Check out our news, reviews, other podcasts. Just click it around a bunch. It helps us out. And if you enjoyed this episode, thoughts worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page at explosion.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.